Welcome to Xtra, presented by VDG Sports. I'm your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Noobs, hello, goodbye. Thank you for giving me a try. Regs, back at it again. Now, I was going to, actually, I waited a long time for this one. And definitely because I wanted to protect the guilty in the game. And I don't want to blame these things on places that I travel to or places that I visit in general. But it's definitely one of the main reasons why I do not like renting vehicles, renting cars wherever I go. And it's definitely not the reason that you think it may be, but it might be the reason. It has nothing to do with driving, though. Although there has been a few occasions driving in strange, different, odd, foreign places. And those are just adjectives and not necessarily to be tied on foreign. Foreign just means not where I'm usually driving, not home, basically. Not foreign as country-wise, but foreign as just a different adjective that I wanted to use, just a different adjective I want to use. And anyway, I'm protecting the guilty in the game, so I'm not going to name the actual place, but this is definitely one of, if not the main reason why I truly don't really get or rent cars. One main reason. I like to take in and get the experience of wherever I am anyway. I can get a taxi. I can get some other form of transportation just to take in the actual full offering of wherever I am, whether it's walking around, in other modes of travel, train, small plane, boat, depends on where. However, angelic, bird-like voice. However, there has been a few occasions where I had to go somewhere. I had to be somewhere, and it was at a strange hour, or I wanted to venture out a little bit more because the destination where I'm at, everything is spread so far apart, and waiting on some form of transportation would have been more of a headache than actually getting a vehicle to begin with. So there are mitigating factors. There are reasons why where it is just basically more reasonable to actually get a vehicle than have transportation, or depending on transportation elsewhere. And I let enough time go by. I let a few years go by. I let some years go by before I bring this up. But if you know, you know. I'm going to try to do everything in my power to continue to protect the guilty in the game. But if you know that it's fine, that it's okay. If you want to know the actual place, it wouldn't be that hard because it's known for this, apparently. Because I was mentioning this to someone else, and they informed me that it was normal. It's happened before. And it's not something that I should be, worried about or concerned about. However, it was a big deal. And I don't get down like that. I do not get down like that, especially if I don't have to. If I don't have to get down like that, I'm not getting down like that. And apparently I didn't have to get down like that because the rental car place, they apologize. I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to name names. They're okay. I'm not going to name names. They're okay. The guy apologized enough, or he apologized, and I got an upgrade on the vehicle that I initially had. So there was no problem. There was no worries from that. And it wasn't me getting an extra charge or anything like that. And there was nothing wrong with the newer vehicle that I got. And everything seemed to work out. Everything was fine. I believe I got a discount too, maybe. So I'm not slighting or trying to slight the company whatsoever. I'm on a see something, say something. See something, say something. I was going to say something a little bit sooner, but I needed to let it breathe. I needed to give it some time so it can breathe. I needed to just let it marinate. I just needed to just let it sit back so I can evaluate it, so I can have some nights where I'm contemplating, some nights where I'm up, some nights where I'm just looking at the light, or I'm just thinking about the light and I'm saying, you know what? What about that? Yeah. And then I stopped thinking about the light and I stopped looking at the light. And then I'm just going down my own rabbit hole, trying to figure out how to not let this happen again. How did it happen in the first place? Why was this an issue to begin with? And what did they do to that vehicle after that I turned it back in? Because I got questions. I can assume some answers, and that's what kept me up at night a couple of nights. But now I'm at the point I'm ready to sing. I'm ready to sing like a bird. I'm about to sing. I'm about to sing my birdie song. Well, not a birdie song, but I'm about to sing a bird song. Bird song. In other words, I'm about to share. Because sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So I got in from the airport. In the airport, you can easily get to places that you can rent cars. More often than not, they're actually there, located in the airport. But for some other reason, I took a shuttle from the airport to go to this rental car place, and I went there. And it was a super, yes, duper long line because it seemed like everybody was thinking about the same thing. It is holiday, and we gonna get a car today. We gonna get a car, and those lines were pretty long. But a good thing that I had a little foresight, and I sort of called and made reservations beforehand. So the wait was still long, but the wait wasn't as long as it could have been as if I was just going up there and trying to get a vehicle the same day that I landed. My name was already on the list. And so was a bunch of other people. And it was just for me to wait for my name to be called so I can pick out the vehicle that I want. And that took about 10, 15 minutes. And it wasn't that the weather was bad. The weather was probably amazing to you. The weather was probably good to you. The weather was probably something that you would enjoy. But to me and how I'm built and how I am, the weather was hot. I don't like it hot. I like it cold. I like it cold, ice cold, snowy cold, blizzard cold. I like coldness. Because I can always throw on some clothes and put on enough layers to not be cold anymore. But it was hot, and I couldn't take any more clothes off without getting in trouble. I couldn't take any more clothes off without alerting people who I didn't want to alert. Because you just can't go around alerting people like that. Because when you go around alerting people like that, it ain't good for nobody. It ain't good for nobody. And then you get in trouble. And I ain't no troublemaker. And I ain't about alerting when I don't have to alert. Not me. So about 10 to 15 minutes go by, and they finally called my name. And my person I guess, dealer or advisor or customer service rep. Yeah, my representative was basically telling me and basically showing me the cars that I can possibly get, the cars that I can possibly choose from, and the cars that were available. I just knew one thing. Some of the first stuff that he was pointing at, I ain't about that life. Some of the first things that he was pointing at, I was like, I'm not about that life. But hey, what you trying to say? I'm not about that life, but what are you trying to say? Because some of the first vehicles that he was pointing at me was like vans. It was like minivans. It was like super slow stuff. I mean, it would have been okay if it was cold or cool, but it was hot. It was hot. So since it was hot, I need to keep it hot. I need to keep it on fire. I need to, sport it up. Sport it up. So I basically told him, I was like, look, I don't want no van. I don't want no truck. You got any sports cars? You got any sports cars? And so he pointed me over to, some sports cars. So I looked at some sports cars and I was like, I'll take that one right there. How much is that? I'll take that one right there. How much is that? He was like, all right, we can. And so I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit ambitious. I'm feeling a little bit ambitious. I wasn't feeling too ambitious now because I end up getting a sports car, but I didn't get the sports car with the sports engine, V8, Hemi, or whatever they put in those cars. Cause I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about vehicles. I just know the one that I had, it was sporty enough. It was sporty enough, and that'll make sense later on. But right now, just know that it was sporty enough. So I ended up picking a Camaro. I ended up getting a Camaro. And I guess I should have known this because all of the reading that I did about Camaros and how they sit and how getting in, hitting my head and it's like low, and I was prepared, but experience is the best teacher. So it wasn't until me popping down and hitting my head a couple of times where it's like, you know what? I got to be more careful because the next time I do this, who knows? Who knows? And all these small repetitive blows that I'm taking to the head, that it can't be good. It cannot be good. So I ended up getting a Camaro. Everything checked out fine. You get the little paper and you go around with the rep, and then he's just checking out like stuff like, there's a scratch there. There's like a mark there. There's this, there's that. And that's just to make sure that when you bring it back, that you aren't getting dinged for something that wasn't your fault. It's make sure when you bring it back that all the scratches and stuff is still there that you didn't put there, and you haven't added a new one. Basically, you haven't laid any graffiti on the car. Basically, you haven't put your stank on the car. Basically, you just haven't said, this is mine, or I've been here. Back in the day or nowadays where you in the restroom, you just scratch out, I ain't never done this, but I've been in enough to see people, I've been here, or blank was here, and all of that. Same difference, but just transferred and translated over into a car, but not actually writing your name, but just not actually writing your name, but having some kind of mark there. So at that point, I was like, all right, everything was good. Everything checked out. Everything ended up being fine. The inside was not bad. I didn't see anything that would have threw my alarm bells off other than like the dent that was already marked for, like the dent that was already marked down because, yeah, it's a dent. It's right there. We see it. It's obvious. I was like, all right, cool. So I hop in, go to the hotel, downtown, go to the hotel. I get out, take my bags up to the room, check it. Well, I get out. go check in, do all that check in stuff, then take my bags up to the room. And I'm like, all right, I ain't going to do anything tonight. I'm just going to chill. Just got in, gonna max and relax and probably just, order some room service, order something and call it a night, call it a day or what have you. And then tomorrow is going to be that time. Tomorrow's going to be that time. And so that happened. Next day, all right. But I went, got breakfast, the breakfast that they, give you at the place where you, reside at. And I decided to, go walk around. I wasn't going to go and drive the ride around because I was in the heart of the city, downtown, pretty much. Everything was in walking distance. All the sights that I wanted to see first was within the city. So I did that. I made moves, went and bought some things, figured out what to go, what to do, talked to some random strangers, figured out what they were doing, where to go, what to do, talk to some locals and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You get the gist. So I decided later on that night that I was going to actually go to this spot. I was going to go to this spot and I was like, it's cool. It's cool. But I didn't drive. I didn't drive to the spot. I walked. I walked to the spot. It was walking distance. And then I went to get my adult beverage on. So I went, did that. Went and did that. And I actually, I'm not, that one still need time to breathe. Went to the spot, got some food. I took some pictures. I still have pictures of the food that I ate. I don't know why, because I guess it got backed up and saved, but I still have them. Who knows? I might post it with this, or I might post it on the website, or I might post it somewhere. It was like, hey, that story, this was the food that night at the spot that I was mentioning and talking about where I ate. Okay. Bam. Wham. Thank you. All right. So that night ended. And the next day, somewhat repeated the same, had breakfast, went around, did some things. I was like, you know what? I've been downtown enough. Now it's time for me to venture out. Now it's time for me to go and just drive around and see what's up or figure out some spots to go to. And this is when my world turned upside down. Because that afternoon I went to go in the car and I opened up the door and let's just say I had some friends. Let's just say it was me and about, 1,000 other small creatures that was greeting me and then realized that I wasn't the one who they wanted to see. So some of them flew off, some of them ran and hid. Others, I don't know if they was attacking or they was saying, hey, close the door because you got the lights on. And when the lights come on, we scatter and we don't know you like that yet. We don't know you like that yet. And if you ain't got it, if you don't understand them, how about this? Them was some bugs. Those bugs, it was just so many. They were just rolling around, running around. Some of them was flying. I was like, this is an infestation. What happened? What happened? Who did I tick off? Who? What's going on? So I was like, all right, yeah, this is not good. This not good because I don't know where they came from. Obviously, they've been living there forever because, they just don't appear out of nowhere magically, especially when it's a parking area and there's no trees or other anything where these creatures could have come from other than living in the vehicle. And it was a little bit too late for me to go and take it back to the dealer then. Taking it back to the dealer and all that stuff happened the next day. And apparently it was a normal thing that happens there. There's an infestation within vehicles. It happens. And when it happens, it happens. And I'm guessing the last party or the last people to have that vehicle somehow got an infestation. And even though when the people cleaned the car and cleaned the inside, they hid well. They was in the cracks. They was in the crevices. It wasn't enough vacuuming and putting and getting your shine on within it to get all of them or to get them in general, because they were in other areas that we couldn't see with our eyes. So we took it back. I took it back, and guy apologized, and this happens here because this place where I was, these creatures are abundant. These creatures are, it's basically where they are mostly found and all of that. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, no worries. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. And I got an upgrade. No, I didn't get like I didn't get another model or make. I got an upgrade to the Camaro that I had. So instead of, when I was driving, instead of putting my foot on the pedal and it takes a little bit of time for it to get up to speed, the new ride that he gave me, soon as I put my foot on the pedal, that puppy hummed, and not a real puppy. The car hummed and it took off. And let's just say the 0 to 60, I don't know how many seconds it was because I wasn't counting because it was fast. And that purring sound, that humming sound was like, okay, I forgive you. I forgive you. All is forgotten. But before I do that, I'm going to have to come out at nighttime and try to drive this at night to see if this one ain't populated either. It wasn't populated that night. It wasn't populated. Everything was fine. Everything worked out. I gave it enough time to breathe because I needed to, just for my own wondering how and why and all of that stuff. I done figured it out, or I done figured out as much as possible. A few of you probably know the place and the area that I'm talking about because this is apparently normal here. It happens. And it just blew my little mind up because I wasn't used to it. I did not know, but I know now. And now you somewhat know. Now you somewhat know. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out the website, extra.vdgsports.com. I might put up the picture there. of the food, not the creatures, This episode is not, I repeat, not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, my whereabouts, my well-being, and everything in between. Basically, all things Vince. There's a YouTube as well. Check out the YouTube page. Everything is there. Like, subscribe, share, and basically do whatever it is you do there. Thank you for listening. Peace. Ow! I'm not going to do it that long. Those times are over.